What's up, everybody? It's Mike.
It's Sam.
It's Yi.
So this happened in China. We talked a lot about before that people tend to ignore situations, horrible situations when they have it right in front of them. We talked about the instances of some pranksters were doing a social experiment about trying to pretending to capture a woman right in front of people, and nobody took action. People even one guy even stopped his girlfriend from calling the police.
Yep.
Another girl was stuffed in the trunk of a car.
Yep.
Nobody took any action.
Right.
People fall all the time. Nobody helps them.
Right.
And this is the latest instance that's coming out of China. As you can see on this video, this woman, she's being dragged by her hair across a road.
And she's yelling. Like, I can't make out what she's saying, but she's like struggling basically. Mm-hmm. Probably calling for help.
Well, it says in the report she was calling for help.
Yeah. At one point you see this person looks like a
police officer.
Yeah.
What's that term
some
for
kind
that?
Of security guard.
Like maybe a chengguan, maybe.
Well, I don't think it's a chengguan. I think they have different. I don't know. But like, this guy looks like he's some official capacity.
Right.
He just kind of walks up to him.
He looks for a minute and then leaves, and I'm
like. Yeah,
the dude walks up in the most leisurely way imaginable. Like he's like, "Yo,"
and then walks away. Yeah, this is appalling to me. Like you don't even go up and be like, "Excuse me." Okay, obviously this is if this happened anywhere else, like this would have been stopped within seconds. Okay, but even in China, you don't where we know no one's most likely no one's gonna go up and stop him. But you don't even go up and be like, "Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Like, why are you doing this?"
People probably thought it was something domestic. They were like, you know what people think? They're like, oh, it's between a couple or something. That's none of my business.
That's exactly what they think.
I don't care. And then the thing is, what I think is, I don't care if it's domestic or not. I don't care what this is.
Right.
This is not okay.
It's not okay.
This is not okay. You cannot treat another human being like this. And if you see someone treating someone like that, you just stop it.
I mean, what world do we live in where there's actual violence being committed against somebody right in front of your eyes, and then people are like, well, that's you know what they're thinking. Well, that's their issue.
Well, the common Chinese philosophy is mentality anyway. It is 多一事不如少一事. So people are like, we don't want any trouble, but. So I think people are really not able to put themselves in that situation in China, which is a problem. Right. Because like if you don't help, all right, then it could be your daughter, it could be your spouse, or it could be anybody. So let's say I think in this case they said it was probably a domestic thing, but let's say even if it was domestic, like we said, it's not okay. But let's say if it wasn't, let's say people were like, oh, it's domestic, but this girl is literally being kidnapped into like a traffic ring. Right. Like what then? I mean,
broad daylight.
Either case is bad, but still like. You can't ignore a case like this and just be like, oh, you know what? None of my problem, because it could be your problem one day. Right.
I think especially if it's domestic violence, I think that people should put a stop to it. Just because, how rare do you see like violence actually being committed in broad daylight for people to see? Right. Normally it's in the home where the victim has no voice. Now you actually see it. Now that would be the time for everyone else to come over here and stop whatever's happening. I don't really care what happens between the man and the woman. Some people are like, well, you don't know what happens between them. You don't know why he's doing that.
It's not an excuse.
I don't think that's an excuse. You cannot do that.
Issue is in China, domestic violence is not a big deal. It's not as big a deal as it is here, where you're like, it's domestic violence. Oh my God, this needs to end. Right. Like in China, it's not considered like this is a big, like here is a huge issue. Right. Anytime you hear about like Johnny Depp and like
Amber Heard.
Right. Anytime you hear any celebrity doing this, you're like, holy crap, this is not okay. Right. Anybody doing it, anytime you hear anybody doing it here, it's like, not okay. Oh my God, we gotta end this. And China's like, well,
it happens. They're like, it happens.
What I just read is earlier this year in January, the law just passed in China, finally recognizing that domestic violence is a thing now and it's punishable. 2016.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
People's mentality still hasn't caught up to that.
No, of course not.
It's previously unpunishable. Like you can do whatever you want and then nobody would care. Yeah, that's
no, it's not going to catch up for a long time. You're talking about people who are like conditioned for generations to not worry about that, right? So all of a sudden you think a law is going to come down and then they're going to be like, oh, that's domestic violence, arrest that man. No, it's not going to change. It's just a piece of paper right now.
I can see how nobody cares right now because
yeah.
everyone passed, like
It's the
on the
culture.
video, everyone just passes by. You see some rubbernecking going on the street, but no one even stops for like even 1 minute.
I mean, of course, because it is a violent sight, right? You see people standing in the storefront, and of course, everyone will be looking. It's not like it's okay. It's not like this event is so whatever that people just walk by without even looking. No, this rattles people. But like Mike said, there's something in their brains where they're like.
It's not my business.
Yeah,
I don't want to be like that. You know,
Ooh.
like obviously this is something intense. I don't want to get in the middle of this. I don't want to be affected. I'm just like, wow, how selfish do you have to be? Maybe if they do step up, maybe the guy would like hit him or something like that. And the thing is, usually I feel like if I were in this situation, I would call the police. But it looks like this guy who was dressed like the police came over here and he was like, nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see here. And I'm like,
that's troubling. That's really troubling.
That's the most troubling to me.
And no one's gonna call. No one's gonna call the police, or no one. And even the woman. Like, let's say the police comes, they're maybe they'll arrest the guy, maybe not.
What I think is the guy's gonna get arrested, and guess what's gonna happen? He's gonna come out without a scrape.
Yeah,
They're like,
nothing.
oh, it's just domestic issues. We can't punish this, or or he gets like a week in jail or something like that.
Right.
He comes out, and what if he hurts the woman even more?
Yeah, well, this is a major issue, but I mean, this video kind of really takes the cake. So let us know what you guys think about the situation. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya.
Bye.